I thought I'd give you a full tour of my kingdom for what it is. But some people did mention how big is our place or our garden, so I thought I'd just give you a quick whistle-stop tour and try and give you an idea. I'll try and keep it reasonably short. So I'll start from here. That is the fence of my neighbours over there, as you can see. That's the quail city and the greenhouse behind. This is the back of the house, a little bit messy. The joys of parenthood. This is the back garden, if you wish. My bird table. And there's a bed here. Dale. That's the only one that survived from the rhubarb seed you sent me, and I thought I'd lost that, but it's come back this year, so very pleased with that. This is a chokeberry bush, and yes, if you eat them you will choke. It's like no, I might actually go. This is a sour cherry, which I planted a few years ago. Here is my fig, which dies every year and comes back from root but never puts any figs on. This is my other neighbour's side, that's their cat. This is the patch where I put the sunchokes. Unfortunately the voles have found them, and I've got a lot less this year, so that's full of voles in there. So I've got to find a cure for them, or at least something. And this is along the back edge, yeah. This is actually a mulberry bush, mulberry tree. Never had any mulberries off it. That might get moved. It's still alive though, so that's always a bonus. And obviously, the back, where we've come into my... Look at that little bird up there. He's gone. As you can see, I put the sunflowers on top of there. I've hung them up in the tree as well. A plum tree, the plum tree needs work, they need cutting down. Back gardens, obviously everything's going now into finish. That's the grapevine, which will be no more. Still have to harvest all these. It's just come off. So that is the small blue Hubbard. I'll put that on the back. These are just about dead. I've got to tidy that up. Incidentally, King of the North peppers outside. I got one pepper on each plant. This one did have a second one on, but it rotted. But these were absolutely, under sunflowers. Look, you see the stump on that, and that's got to be 3 or 4 inches across. And they were bigger. I've still got some cabbages and stuff coming, and a few kohlrabi. Some cabbages is blown. There's a couple of nice ones. These cabbages were from Bill and Val, Asa, and I'm really impressed with them. Really impressed with them. They did really well. In fact, my father-in-law, I did some for my father-in-law, and he said they were best cabbages he's had, better than ones at the starts that he bought. So good cabbage. Red cabbage there that's blown, unfortunately. These are collards from Dan. Beans, they're being left. We're picking odd one, we're getting odd meal off these, but most of them are too big now. But I've got about 10 kilos of beans in freezer, so at least, I would say. The broccolis that we've had. We're just leaving these now, see if they'll put on some pups. These will, if they survive winter, they might not survive winter here. They do it on the other side in front of the greenhouse, but it gets really dark. Well, they might do on this bed. On that bed they wouldn't. This is obviously the area that I cleared, that were really overgrown and had that fence that were all crushed down by children. And then this leads us on to the front garden, which is the north side. You see I put a bit of fencing up there just to stop the dogs. This is front garden where, again, my apple trees there, the plum trees here. This is the border, if you want, to Switzerland. Switzerland. England. This is an interesting plant, Coca-Cola plant. It smells like cola bottles. Here I've got some black red and white currants. All need cutting back. Some of them need transplanting. I might find a place. This is a goji berry. Hazelnut tree that performed fantastically this year. I were eating loads of hazelnuts last night. I've got to put them in water and try and float them because some are empty, and the ones that float are no good and the ones that sink are good. This is the real dark side. International border between Switzerland and England, and so like I said, this is the dark side. This is proper north.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
That's south. So that there's north, and obviously this is just various shrubs, few blackberries that come in, but this is just various shrubs. It gets no real light, and then you go back up there, and here these are all hostas. They'll come out with a white flower. They've finished now, unfortunately. But again, there's not much on this side. This is just lawn, if you want to call it that. I did spot something interesting in here the other day when I were down here. I can't see it now. They were a volunteer. Oh, there it is. Mental note. That's a volunteer cherry tree. There's a cherry tree over here, sorry. There's a cherry tree over there, a wild one, and I'm assuming that's come from that or from somebody's. Now, what I'm planning to do is, now I know exactly where it is next to that white marker, I'll go over there and cut a lump off that and try and graft it onto my tree. Give you a second cherry. It might be good, it might not be, but if I take it and it's not good, I can always cut it out after. I'll just show you these. These are magons, very good for mushrooms, but not the mushrooms I want. Extremely deadly. Probably one of the most deadly mushrooms ever. And there's lots of them in the asparagus and also in the back. So I don't know where they come from, but they seem to like what I've got in here. Closed. And I just thought I would give you a quick look in here and comparison. The lettuce grown outside, planted exactly the same time as these lettuce. These lettuce shows you what difference the greenhouse makes, and that's the back wall now. Spuds, onions, green onions and bulbs in summer. The beets that I planted are coming on. I'm going to thin them out a little bit more, but we'll eat the leaves. These ones, I cut all the tops off. They're the ones that were outside. I cut all the tops off because I want them just to put leaves on. There are some little bulbs in there which would be usable, but I just thought I'd use them for leaves, and obviously they had a lot of that minor on them, so therefore I cut them back as well and give them a chance to grow again. My mushroom in the bed failed. It got green mould, which I expected in reality, but it was interesting to see that it had still had life after being in cellar for 3 years with no water or anything. What we got over here, I've got to harvest all these and dry them. There's not many purple ones on now, white ones, there's a few but not many. Still got a couple of peppers on. Which will need to be harvested at some point, but it's alright in here at the minute because my cucumber is still alive, and there's some cucumbers on it. I think there's 3 or 4 on it. everything outside on Spudomatic just died off. But you can see these are coming on lovely. There's not as much colour on leaves as these, as the ones outside, because of light difference in here. But at some point this greenhouse will be recovered. This we just covered with stuff what I had. Look at that there. Bloody thing. I'll get him after. Mental note. I had something I will mention before I do go. Leave you to it. I had a couple of wasp nests in here. I had one in there, in that crack, yeah, behind that, and this one here. And to be honest, it didn't bother me until it starts to get to autumn, and I had to get stuff from down there, and then they were sort of mobbing me. But I looked for something like as a non-chemical way to kill them, and I found just simple hand soap and water kills them. So I'd mix some in a tub, in a spray bottle, and sprayed them. You have to. It's not obviously. You've got to actually get the wasps themselves. It's not like a poison that sits there and kills them when they come back. So they were still coming back, and just every time I saw a few wasps round the nest, I sprayed them again and wiped them out. Same here. They were poking their heads out of there and hanging around there, guarding it. And 2 or 3 times, and I got them all. So it's non-chemical or non-strong chemical, and it's hand soap. You know what I mean? So that's a little tip if you get the problem. I'll just show you what's still going on here. Basil, I'm going to split some of that off and bring it into the house. It'll go on kitchen windowsill. And this is Bob, the pineapple. I think I might repot Bob and bring him into the house. And I've got some other bits and pieces. I don't know what, I can't remember whether, I don't know whether that's lamb's lettuce, miner's lettuce. I think that's possibly rocket, but one of these didn't come. I've got some carrots coming up in here for some reason, but that one didn't come. There were lamb's lettuce, rocket, and miner's lettuce. Some of them will go into beds. This is getting long, isn't it? I've still got a few tomatoes, as you can see. That little beauty, Wenzel. 2 hearts. But yeah, I've still got tomatoes to pick, which is good. And the rest of the bucket wall is doing well. Like I did say, I'm not going to put buckets on that bottom. I've had a little bit, look, of mildew on these. In fact, the other day there were a lot, and I've sprayed them a couple of times with milk and water, and that seems to have cured most of it. I'll go around them again and get the points where there's a little bit more, like on the end of there, there's quite a patch, and I'll just spray them all again. And that seems to have got hold of it. I need to pull some of them out anyway. It's rather crowded. So anyway, I'll leave you to it. Don't forget, comment, share, thumbs up, thumbs down. And it's nice to be nice. Look, I've got sheepy on. This fleece is older than my children. See you later. Nice.